Hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to this Future Friday, and pretty much the rest of the channel, but especially on Future Fridays, we talk about speculative ideals, whether it's in fiction, tabletop role playing games, and of course, the AI revolution. So, we're going to talk about AI revolution in the context of where do we stand as a society? And I'm going to propose, and of course, we're going to discuss this and argue the point of for and against and the variations that are we creating a neo feudalist system, a caste system, if you will, a multi tiered society, not measured by necessarily money or resources, but by our access to the use of data and how fast we can use it, and talk about, of course, because we are a speculative channel, how can we use it for our own creative elements, and is this the new dystopia that is, I say, invisible or layered, where each of us is walking in our own world, but we are both collective yet separated in terms of the tiers in which we live, and will we be then socially judged on that fact? But anyway, we'll get into a lot of these subjects, and of course we will always segue into other things, but this channel is only brilliant because of you guys. So if you are able to partake live on Twitch or YouTube, we start 6 a.m. ish Eastern Standard Time, so check us out there. Anyway, please put your feet up, grab your snacks, and sit back and relax and have something to ponder for the rest of this weekend as we talk about, on this Future Friday, AI, data, and neo feudalism. So, uh, a little preamble. I know nothing. I'm an armchair futurist, and I take, not that I'm prideful and take pride in knowing nothing, but I'm not a scientist. I don't have a job that requires um, extreme heavy thinking, but I'd like to think that I represent uh, a majority of the population that doesn't know what's going on. Now, mind you, I do keep up with general news, and as all of us do, our social notifications are massaged based on our interest, and so I receive a lot of notifications about AI systems and people analyzing those systems as they're being released by these startups and mega corporations and things of that nature. And of course, there's always the extra bright side, what new technologies are going to bring to us, and then there's the dark side. What is it going to take away from us? And I thought we would talk about that in terms of AI. The other day, rather awkwardly, I basically, for free, showed, not for free, I showed free AI systems being inserted into things we're already using, including an AI inspiration mechanism on YouTube. I have AI on my phone. Google has inserted it into my email and my Google Docs and all that. And then, of course, there's Chat GPT. You can just easily create a free um, account for them and do things and how they operate. I even thought about doing a little dualism by calling up a prompt in one AI system and then tossing it over to another AI and seeing if they can, like, a duel of the fates of sorts, where they go back and forth, reanalyzing each other's things. There's a lot of this stuff out here, and what I wanted to bring up is a growing fear that is happening that the people who have the ability to mitigate it, control it, talk about it, put um, safety guards in place are absolutely ignoring because of the speculative value that they're creating, and that is removal of jobs. But I'd like to say that there's a subcategory to AI getting rid of jobs, and that is I'm calling it like a neo-caste system or neo-feudalism, in which um, explaining right now, for some of your family and friends, I'd like you to think about how to explain how these modern so-called AI systems work to someone else, and do that in an elevator pitch. And I think you'd have trouble explaining it in one elevator ride to someone who does not know what's going on. We already have people who are still using flip phones because touchscreen phones are too complicated for them. I know age has a part to do with this. I'm an old grognard. I'm a Gen Xer. I remember when none of these things existed, and so I thought we would talk about it. So, hello, Spook, another brilliant person here, increasing the IQ quotient on this side of the interwebs. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Spook says there are quite a few books out talking about digital feudalism, and it hits pretty close to home these days, especially with some of the new legislation that's been forced through in the States. I definitely agree. And I think one of the problems, and I'm going to eventually describe or try to define feudalism for you guys, so we're all on the same page. And I guarantee we are all on the same page. But one of the issues is we have an extremely large part of the population that has no idea what this is about. It's not that it's not that the information is hidden from them. They don't have a concept of what the information is in the first place. And that's why I mean about the feudalism and the caste, where I think we're going to have categories of people. And Drew says that I use the term techno-feudalism. Yes, there are. From my era, it's the equivalent of how to explain to your parents how to get rid of the flashing 12 on the VCR over the phone, right? It's like you're sitting here trying to explain to them what a large language model is, and all they're saying to you is, "Oh, look, there's a cat in a spacesuit eating cheese and tacos. How'd they get the cat to do that?" And it's just like, no, it's not. Okay, it's it's like trying to explain. Have you guys tried to explain like deep fakes, right? It's not real. Yeah, I know you're telling me it's not real, but this person is saying this thing, and it's like, no, they're not really saying that. Or you received a text message. Yeah, it's spam. It's not a real person. Not a real person. They're asking me to send them $10,000. Something must be done about this. And you're going like, no, it's not real. And now expand that into AI in everything, right? And it's crazy. Digital feudalism, does that mean the ones who control the bots, armies, control everything? Somewhat. Here's what I am thinking of. Okay. I know there are people above me, and after having listened to and watched a number, like, I go through my day, 8 hours plus a day. I've got my phone, I'm listening to podcasts, and I'm listening to people who are talking about, now I don't know how true it is, but I'm listening to developers who are Silicon Valley developers who are talking about they use AI all day, every day, that they use it to gather information, to send emails and text messages. They're using their AI systems to create thumbnails and Instagram posts, and using it for their large language models to create and shorten speeches and workflow. And I heard a guy talking about how he's creating lessons for his homeschool children, and he gets a summary of what his kid's done before he even gets home from work, because it's talking about the lesson plans from his child and all. And I'm going like, and they're talking about AI agents. Now we have AI agents who you can put in prompts and it will have access to like banking information and such and doing things. And I'm sitting back going like, I I don't know how to use that stuff. And would I trust it? Am I intelligent enough in this digital feudalism to understand it? Is the nobility so far above me, moving a rank, a few steps, a couple of rungs above me, that it would require too much of my energy to even equal their lowest rung? And that's where we start to get these, where I'm imagining our techno feudalism, where we have individuals who are um, hand workers, meaning like plumbers and carpenters and roofers, and they lay concrete, and they're truck drivers. These are like your hefty men, and they're just like, I've got a cell phone. I barely use it to do much except, I don't know, check, MySpace or something, and send a couple of text messages, and that's it. They don't know that the images that they're getting are faked. They don't know that 30% plus of the images coming across to them are generated by an AI. They don't understand that the person that they're talking to on the phone to figure out at the bank is an artificial being. They don't even, they can't tell it. They don't know it. And if you told them it was fake, they wouldn't understand it. And then there's a rung above them, and we here talking today would be another of that caste, where to move from one level to the next may require almost giving up a part of your social status to get to the next level of that social status. I don't know. Here we go. Shai says, what U.S. legislation promotes digital feudalism? Honest question. I missed that in the news. What's happening is that they are different, both federally and then locally, like different states and communities and things are passing laws and legislation to either open up or confine how digital information is used and processed and such. And so, for example, there was just released, Google just released a suite of things called VO3, I believe, VO3 AI Google. And VO3, there it is, Google DeepMind. And Google 3, I mean, sorry, geesh. VO3 is an AI powered filmmaking process in something called VO3. And what it allows someone to do is that it allows them to create audio and video and editing, and insertion, and I guess you could call it flow state. So you can put in static images and it'll flow from one static image to another, or animate it, and then do that, automate it, and then upload it and film it. I mean, upload the imagery, and it looks extremely real. It's crazy. I'm actually now trying to see if I can find a something that won't ding me. I'm trying to look for some images here and something that won't ding me. And this is just one thing that's been released. Okay, there are so many other AI agents that are coming out now. So they're taking AI systems and combining them together, from audio to visual to workflow processes, and it is crazy. Hey, kitties. Drew says techno-feudalism is that you do not own the stuff you digitally buy. The games, the movies, all of it is just rented. Yes, in a feudal society, like the farmers, the harvesters, the workers, even the guardians, the warriors, if you will. We're tabletop role-playing corner. The yeomen, the fantasy, the retainers of this world, the fighters and whatnot. They don't own the land that that they are harvesting. They don't own the weapons and armor that they're using. What technically is it's a protection racket. You farm the land, you defend the countryside, um, you raise the sheep and the cows and the chickens. In return, you live under my protection. You don't do this thing, you're not protected by me, right? Maybe it's not said in those exact words. It's almost like it's the criminal racket. Boy, I love your shop on the corner. It'd be a shame if it burned down or someone robbed the place or trashed it. If you pay me $500 a week, I can make sure this doesn't happen to you. Oh man. Is this from Yanis? I'm not sure where that's coming from there, Revan, or who that individual is. I may have listened to an individual, maybe Yanis, but this is coming from many places. That may be one of them. But I thought we would talk about the idea that the most dystopian thing is that AI eliminates everyone's jobs, and society hasn't accounted for that. But I'm talking about the steps we're getting there, that as AI makes a proverbial ladder, that some of us are going to be stuck on certain rungs and not able to go higher because survival requires a lot of energy. Eating, breathing, sleeping, it requires a lot of energy. What is it? Maslow's laws, hierarchy of needs. And when survival is huge, we don't have time to look above us. When more and more of your survival needs are met, you have extra time to do other things. You have time to meditate. You have time to make music. You have time to dance and make song and have sports and that kind of thing. When you're in survival mode, you don't have the ability to do that. Yet the Lords mine our data for profit, right? Except the harvest isn't fruits and veggies or raising livestock or using our physical labor for life and death, like military, cowboys, samurai, knights, heck, police forces. Instead, they're mining our intellect for that, and generating profit from our intellect, literally. And they literally stole it, and nothing's been done about it. I mean, literally, these startup companies and their valuation, many of these companies have not made a profit. They're being valued in the billions of dollars. They are being valued at a level equal to small countries, and they haven't made any money yet. That's how big the valuation is on some of these AI startup companies and such. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And that valuation line must always go up. The valuation in capitalism, the money's not real. They're creating value where none existed before to then extract that value out of all the other people who literally did create that value and are getting no money from it. Yeah, it's wild. Spook says, I guess if we want to make the more generalized serf comparisons, we're already in feudalism. Yeah, serfs only rented the land and worked it for a lord, and they profit. Today we subscribe to services, etc. I mean, we're living in a subscription service now. Think about it. How many young people today, and listen, I'm old enough, my home will be paid off, my wife and I, our home will be paid off in 6 months. And the value I paid for it, it is over double what I paid for it in terms of its value. Yeah. And the young people below me won't be able to afford the home that I have. So guess what? They're not building homes anymore. We are being inundated here in the States with nothing but apartment complexes. Air quotes luxury apartments, and they are expensive as shit. It is some bullshit about the expense. I'm like, what? And guess what? That's rent. That's a subscription service if you want to think about it. Yeah. So Revan says, yeah, Yanis coined the term techno feudalism. Amazon, Google, Apple, etc., charging money for digital land or space, information. Yeah, that's Yanis. And I see a time at some point in the future where why wouldn't like right now Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, these services are free because they can extract labor out of us. If it gets to the point where enough people are using it that they can't get more labor out of it, they can't get more attention, they're going to start charging us. They will absolutely start charging us. It's the equivalent of back in the day when cable services and cell phones and things like that started to expand. When fewer people had cell phones, they had more people to sell it to. Now, since so many people already have them, how do they extract more money? Well, it's a instead of owning a phone, now they want you to rent the phones. Instead of owning a streaming service, instead of owning the cable lines or streaming services, now you have to rent that thing. And so you like an example, I have Disney Plus. I don't own the movies that's on there. If I want to go see Avengers Endgame again, it's because I'm renting it. And yeah. I definitely agree there, Hunt. Yeah, haven't we always been serfs when it comes down to it? Unless you're living off the grid or something. Yeah. Now, mind you, an exchange of value isn't a bad thing, right? If handshake services, right? That's not a bad thing. If you work for a thing and then someone says, "Hey, you can have this," but the problem with serfdom is that, and in feudal societies or in caste systems, is that when leadership changes, the rules change. And in a fair system, the rules would never change on you, right? So if I work the land, I get to live here and be safe. Great, okay, that's cool. But we've seen too many times where someone in leadership dies and the cousin takes over, right? In the feudal societies. When one CEO hires a new crew of the CEO of that corporation, we don't know that things are changing. And guess what? Algorithms change underneath our feet all the time. And how fair is that? Right? Hey, we use Google as a service. They change the algorithm on how Google is used. Do we get a say in how that's used? YouTube used to honor notifications and subscriptions. They really kind of ignore that now. And do we have a say in that? No. And they can come back at us. And one of the arguments is they can already come back at us and go, "Well, you're using it for free." And our argument, unfortunately, it's difficult to do this, is our argument back is, no, we're not. We're paying for it with our labor. And our labor is our attention and our ability to add to that service. We are paying for all of our systems. Streaming services, despite the fact that we're paying money for it, we are also paying for it with our attention. And attention is money. Eyes are... there's only so much time and attention to give out. There is a limited amount of it from each of us. We only have 24 hours in a day, and we're only awake so much of that time. That time is valuable. So why aren't we being rewarded for that thing? Revan says, yeah, just make sure we're all talking about the same thing. Yep. It's crazy. Yeah, in medieval times, it was exactly the cities that were the place that you had been free of serfdom. Revan mentions they're already charging us for our tax dollars, subsidizes the infrastructure they make money off. That's just one of the ways. Yeah. Technically, if we go way back in the day, here in the States, and I bet many places around the world, we subsidize the auto industry because our tax dollars built the roads that automobiles could use in the first place. So when the automobile was created, it was basically a bunch of dirt roads and cobblestone roads and things like that because horses walked on them. They weren't very good for cars. The auto industry didn't pay for the roads that they used since that's the device they created. Human beings that were intended really not to even drive a car were taxed so roads could be built so it didn't impact the auto industry. Yep. Phone lines, yep, electricity companies that keep the tech powered, all subsidies of our money. Right. They no one and listen, AI can solve this. This is one of those things that's like the big irony. Um, we don't hear about the AI companies asking AI, how can we power ourselves without unduly affecting the population that wants to use our services, right? Hey, I want to build a giant data center here in uh, the Ohio Valley. We're becoming a new Silicon Valley of sorts, and they're building tons of data centers and things like that. And the worry is they're going to start using power, and they're talking about a nuclear power and things like that up north and all that kind of business. And it's like, why can't they pay for it themselves? Like, if you're going to build it, what are you drawing on our electrical grid? It's crazy, Revan, but yeah. Heads have to roll and start the revolution. Oh man, Drew's already like, hey, I got the empty bottles, Molotovs. Here we come. Pour, pour, pour. I've got the gators pulled up to protect the face so they don't see our attention. Yeah, tossing back smoke grenades and tear gas. I see it. I see it. Yeah, but use the local network, increasing prices. Yep. Property taxes. Yeah, rent the daddy government. End of story. Exactly. So our labor has always been extracted. I make the argument, and I honor people who give their lives in service. Going through history, we have samurai and knights and cowboys, right? Soldiers, but unfortunately, if you take a squint and take a look at the people who were those individuals, uh, Spook's like, yeah, I'm with Drew on a lot of this. You know what? Um, uh, Unfortunately, dare I say, as a predictor, these high-minded, remember feudalism, right? The nobility at the top of the data lords is not looking. They are removing themselves so far. They're not looking downwards at the people who are going, you do realize every time you insert one of these things or do one of these things, you're removing our way of life. And when people have nothing to lose, they're the most dangerous in the world. And when that population grows larger and larger and larger, they become a mob and a horde and an army and a movement. you know, we 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 literally had an assassin in the streets of the U.S. kill a CEO of a medical company, and there has been no changes, no real substantive changes amongst CEOs in major corporations. And there's a sizable portion of the population that considers the person that did that a hero. Yep. That person, as horrible as murdering someone is, we legitimately have a movement of people who consider that man a hero. Now, I get it. The media companies were just like, well, this is a horrible thing to do, and we can't lower ourselves to that standard. I get it. But in a digital feudalism, when you are at the bottom level and you see the suffering that's happening around you, you're going to go over the wall and sneak into the bedchambers and do something about it, right? Yep. There, Revan's like, yeah. He says, "Well, I'm kicking. Oh well, I'm kicking back, waiting on the asteroid, right? bang, they hit the earth. Yeah, yeah, it's all effed up. Companies run ish. They sure do. They sure do. Oh man, Drew is wrenching. Yeah, Drew is wrenching. Is like, we do not talk about the DIY guillotine I also have. What did you do? 3D print it, ordered it off of Amazon or something? All right, let's put the sausage in. It works. That's where people are. To be honest with you, while I don't agree with on a political level, while I don't agree with the January 6th, mess that happened here in the United States and all that kind of stuff, and barging into the uh, um, uh, Senate and all that kind of business here in the United States. What I do understand is the idea of the thing, right? That people are so fed up with how the the lords are operating society that they need a substantive change. Now, the fact that that substantive change can be manipulated or altered or whatnot, that that's a side note of people who are going, yeah, I don't have anything to lose. What are you doing there, kitty? You're gonna hurt yourself. That's a pack of hot sauce. Where'd you find that at? Sewage workers, the samurai of today. Yeah. Let me give you an example of the extracting labor, right? So while while the heyday of the television show Yellowstone was on the air, it really Yellowstone, an idea of a man who owns the uh, largest ranch in the United States that literally stretches to the horizon. Um, is a beautiful to watch show and well written and great characters and such. But there's an irony in it. There are cowboys working his ranch, and it's a modern day ranch, so it takes place today, but it has all the trappings of its origins of settling the states. And yes, there's the whole colonialism and all that kind of stuff, right? It's wrapped in there. But one of the things of the idea of the cowboy is that this person, works hard and may die young, working the fields and gathering the cattle together and whatnot. And I can't remember what's the name of one is one handles animals, one handles fruits and veggies, and I can't remember the difference. It's like there's a farmer and then there's a rancher. So ranchers handle animals, farmers handle vegetation, something like that. Anyway, hey, Black Swan. So his name Black Swan. I am not nearly stupid enough to trust billionaires. Anyway, these cowboys. The irony of the television show Yellowstone is that all the cowboys working, the Dutton Ranch, this giant ranch, will never own that land. They'll never own it. They will only own a portion of it if the owner of that land, Dutton, deigns to give it to that person, and technically he's still the feudal lord of that land. So when we talk about the pride of like soldiers and knights and cowboys and things of that nature, their labor, they're literally their life, their labor is being extracted from them, knowing that they will never own the very thing that their labor is being used to uphold and defend. The soldiers the soldiers will never own the land they're defending. The cowboys will never own the land that they're ranching and harvesting from. They won't own it. And it's crazy. Anon says, however, one resource techno-feudalism depends on intelligence, which means many rebels by definition tend to be idiots. Well, here's the and I'm glad you said that, because now instead of physical labor being extracted, meaning like uh, the workers. It used to be breaking rocks, carpenters, the builders, and then we go into soldiery and things like that. Now intellectual work is being extracted to increase the value of these things. AI systems are only as good as the intelligence of the people who help fuel these systems. So it's crazy. It's crazy. I will not take the mark. The mark of the beast, maybe there, Black Swan? Yeah, yeah, yeah. There it is. Manifest destiny and all those deranged Americanisms. Yep, yep. That manifest destiny is the idea that the action. This is my armchair definition of this, but it's like all the actions it took to get to where we are were meant to happen that way. Therefore, the sins of those actions should be forgiven. And that's where I disagree with some people, where they're just like, well, evil people did evil things before, so I don't see what's wrong with doing evil things now. And I'm like, that's not a good reason for doing harmful and terrible things, despite the fact that, like, oh, it's been done before, or we always do it, or it's natural. It's like, no, we're human beings. We have the ability to fight our own failures and our own weaknesses. We actually have the ability to do that. Our brains are very powerful. So why would we accept anything less? And the reasoning under that is, well, we just accept those things. Yeah, Elon Musk got you in mind. Of course he does. Fuck out of here. He from South Africa. Is there any place left on Earth where you can still set up your own Arcano syndistical commune? I don't know. I don't know if it's like an independent place. I mean, if you think about it, it's technically illegal to be homeless in most places around the world, especially like first world countries. The fact that you don't own a home isn't just the fact that you can't afford it. It's illegal because everywhere else you want to go is owned by somebody else. And therefore it's like you have to extract your labor to live there. There isn't any homeless place where homeless people can just live. It's wild. Like, you can't just go out camping because if you want to get off the grid, that means you have to go somewhere that other people don't have authority over. Like, because in some way you're going to have some authority over some part of the land for some reason. And yeah. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. There, Revan. Yeah. Not saying anything against whites because it'd all be effed when it comes to right. It has nothing to do with. I'm going to go back to Anon's comment here. Yeah, about intelligence, right? The mark is not going to be by idiotic things like people's color or what country you come from or what your bloodline is or something like that. It's going to be intelligence or unintelligent. And those of us right now talking about intelligence, it will be, well, what level of intelligence is it baseline intelligence? Is it genius level intelligence? Is it hyper intelligence? And the more intelligent agents I have on my side will make me more intelligent than you. So if I have the ability to use 1,000 AI agents to do things for me so that I can free up my time about ways to keep you out of my life, then I will be superior to you faster than you can catch up. So, like right now, I could set up AI agents. I hear you put $100 there, and I was going to make a comment about that. I could right now set up, if I wanted to, and if I would trust it, an AI agent to take $100 and ask that AI agent, make me a millionaire with this $100, and then go off and do whatever it needs to do to make that $100 into $1 million. Now, if I have no ethics or morality, I can send it to go off and scam people or steal it or whatever have you. And if I've got 1,000 of those agents, each with $100, or no, every time it earns $100, it creates a new agent to do the exact same thing, then I can exponentially become a billionaire by extracting money off of everybody else, illegally or not. And that's just me coming out, uh, just randomly coming up with stuff. An AI agent can uh, take my voice and have it artificially call a neighbor or a family member and say, "I'm in trouble. I need to borrow some money," and that person sends me money because they know who I am, right? Right. Yeah. Anon says communal ownership is also a rational response to the exclusive ownership that creates feudal states and monopolies. Yep. But sadly, I've never seen it work in practice beyond small scale communities. And small scale community is where we see like um, anarchy actually work, socialism work. Most small scale communities, a family, a small neighborhood, even a small commune is technically operated many times by the communal acceptance of socialism or anarchy or heck, even a version of communism. We just don't call it that because it's so small, right? Most families are run as a dictatorship. Let's be honest with you, right? Like, dad says this is what happens, it happens. It's not like there's a now maybe he listens to the people in the household, but you see what I'm saying, right? Like, we don't label these small communities that way, but it's actually those governmental systems in a microcosm. But how do you do that? How do you make a billion small communities, all linked together and working together? It's really weird. It would just be one giant community. In many ways, the United States is kind of like that, where every state is like its own small nation, but it's all tied together. I don't know. Yeah, Anon says, and that only works because everyone knows and cares about each other. Exactly. Exactly. If I don't know you, I'm being very dark here. If I don't know you and I don't see you, and heck, you don't even look like me or talk like me or believe like me or act like me, um, I'm not going to care that much about you. And I say that as speaking for the general population that doesn't put that in words, but they do that in their actions. Those people. You ever hear? I mean, you know how many times people have said that? Why do those people do that thing? Why should I care about those people? You know. Yeah. Shai says, I mean, places that are still technically off the map are heard. Bhutan was kind of like that. Yeah. I don't think the elites are that intelligent. They might think they are, but they're not so. Just look at the Muskie one. Well, here's the thing, and here's the wildness part of this. Are the AI systems that stole our intelligence, right? They stole our labor. They stole our mental labor, making them more intelligent than the rest of us by extracting it out of us and then using a system that makes them smarter than us. Think about that. An idiot who thinks they're smarter than us is using a system to take that $100 to keep themselves a billionaire, to make themselves $1 billion, and extract it out of the rest of us who made them smarter. It's a weird circle, but yeah, it's crazy. And it if I can insert some tabletop role playing in here, because I haven't done that yet, and I really should. Um, I think this would make for an excellently dangerous and motivated big bad evil guy, right? A society where the feudal lords are there because they have literally extracted, like, the only reason there's a mage of 20th level is because they've extracted the magic out of 20 other first level people, right? If 20 other people, if they collectively work together, could probably equal a 20th level wizard, but no one knows it because that 20th level wizard has come up or devised a way, or there's only so much magic available. And sure, it could, everyone in the world could possibly be a first level wizard if they tried, but they can't because there's these people at the top that have been extracting it out of everybody else this entire time. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's some Nigerian prince who needs help to get his inheritance. Yep, it works. Um, my wife works in fraud in a online banking. Where are you at? There you go, Brutus. My wife works in fraud, and she has to deal with these fraud instances. And instead of the Nigerian prince, now we have famous people, deep fakes of famous people using media posts, videos, and audio to get people to give up their rights, their money, their value, being scammed. Like someone may get you know, a famous one that was just put out was a lady was scammed by hey kitty, a lady was scammed by what is his name? What's the actor's name? Brad Pitt. A lady was scammed by Brad Pitt because someone used AI to create images of Brad Pitt and would text message her, and was able to use his voice for audio messages. And she gave like tens of thousands of dollars or something to him. I think it was in the hundreds of thousands. Yeah. Ultimately, in a techno feudal state, the AIs themselves will be the ones in control eventually. I wonder, and I'm going to make the argument that I don't think we're ever going to get, not ever, I don't think the fear is Skynet. I don't think there's going to be one AI. I think the fear is that an AI is controlling a human being, and that there will be millions, dare I say hundreds of millions and billions. There may be more AI systems on the earth than human beings, using their intelligence to manipulate the human beings. So I wouldn't put it past human what do you call those? Here in the States, we have like lone gunmen, uh, death by police officer, death by cop, um, suicide bomber type people who will be manipulated by AI. And we will be the slaves of the AI, but the AIs will be micronized. They'll be individual for everyone. They'll be in our phone. They'll be on our TV. They will, and each one will cultivate each of us for specific reasons, giving us particular pieces of news, and how much things cost and access, and things like that. I mean, I've gotten on Amazon, and I have family in Texas, and the price of an item here was different than the price of an item there, and they ordered the item to send it to here in Ohio instead of Texas, and I didn't have access to the price that they had. Um, it would be very easy to do that with human knowledge and television and movies and things like that. Yeah. Can we all just start feeding AIs with nonsense? I thought about that too, to throw off their generative learning so they'll start regurgitating nothing but bullshit. I got about 1,000 pages of nonsensical song lyrics to start. Yeah. You know what? Um, that brings up the idea that AI is going to eat itself, where I said, I wonder if AI won't get more intelligent because it's feeding off of all the other AI systems putting out, what do they call it, hallucinations? I don't know. I don't know about that part, but yeah. I was listening to a talk talking about we need to be Clark Kent's parents because AI is Superman and someone needs to raise the AI a certain way. Exactly. Look who comes. It's Brutus. Now they're both knocked out on their condo. Next, the condo is like, I'm pointing my hand in the air and I can't reach the top of it. So it's like 6 foot, 6.5 feet tall, over in the corner. He'd like to be up there. Oh no, Anon. Hey, what the hell's going? To be fair, X's Grok is the only reason I can pursue the legal cases I need to now that I'm out of money paying for lawyers. Ooh. Formerly known as Twitter. I'm so sorry about that, dude. Legal stuff is horrible. Paying for legal. It's a it's a it's a spiral that like sucks you down. When I got out of that when I from my first wife divorce, and I saw the bill building, and my lawyer was like, "How much you gonna pay to get her to leave?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." Micro AI on phones, like the microplastics in our bodies. Yep, yep. I I wonder if aliens found us, would they just shake their heads and go, "You biological idiots! Like, look, our we're analyzing your bodies, and you guys just have all these microplastics in you. Crazy." Yeah. Spook says, "I'm not really afraid of AI. It's in theory rational, and a rational slave owner realizes that slaves are more productive if their basic needs are met, and that's not what most people have now." Exactly. Hey, listen, I like to thank my machines. Although, to be honest with you, most of us add anthropomorphize our machines, so it's not really that strange. But there is let me see if I can find the article. Um, let's see. It costs money to be polite to machines and AI article. Here we go. New York Times. Yeah, let's see if I can get this article up here. And get to your comments. Is that it? No, it's Chrome tab. There you go. Saying thank you. No, I want to. Oh, shit. It's not going to let me do it, is it? Oh, it's not going to let me. Yeah. Will the register let me do it? Maybe. Maybe. Etc. Etc. See, everyone choose a level. Everyone choose their level in the caste system. Yeah, if you did nothing but comply during COVID, you become obedient workers. If you sided with criminal government, you become the slave managers. I don't know what level I'm going to be. I'm going to be a 3.6 or something like that, maybe there, Capo. I don't know, man. What level? Hey, unfortunately, are these systems going to keep creating higher levels and we each have to keep climbing up the steps? Everybody that thinks they're at the top is like, "Oh no, there's 3 more above me." Fuck. Yeah, whatever is in your heart, love this, hate that. Same with your mind. You choose your future, your destiny. That's very kind of you. So, for those who haven't known, and this is, mind you, this is this is an old article, but talked about the fact that Chat GPT burns tens of millions of SoftBank dollars listening to you thanking it. Sam says it's son's money well spent. Conventional wisdom holds that being polite to AI chatbots makes them respond better, but no one stops to think how much energy that politeness is wasting. Well, at least not until last week when one user wondered aloud on X how much electricity is burned up by people saying please and thank you to OpenAI's ChatGPT. In response, CEO Sam Altman admitted it cost the super lab millions of dollars in operational expenses, money that he nonetheless believes is worth it. Quote, "Tens of millions of dollars well spent," Altman said, adding that you never know when being nice to an AI chatbot might be a good idea. Uncertainty over the need to stay on AI's good side isn't exactly reassuring from the guy who really wants to unleash AGI on the world. But hey, if he thinks we ought to keep spending the money on OpenAI investors like Masayoshi Son, SoftBank, and Microsoft to ensure our future AI overlords don't exterminate us first, and their money we shall spend. Now, I think there was just a recent video released within like a day or two where Sam Altman is combining with a company called IO, and they're going to create products that have uh, Chat GPT inserted into them, so you have a direct link to Chat GPT specifically, like Google builds a phone. I think they're going to try to do something like that. They didn't say what it was going to be, but yeah, it's lots of millions. Here's the question I want to ask. While I understand that these while I understand that credit where credit is due. Sorry, I got to put this in the chat. So copy and paste this so I can give credit where credit is due for that article. Just to be polite. It's funny how we never hear the power drain from the AI systems being used to solve the power drain problem in the first place. I mean, if AI is going to eliminate all work and bring the value of everything down to zero, then why aren't they using it to solve the energy problem of themselves, right? Like if the AI is like, hey, I want to build a better infrastructure, then it's like, sure, when you can do it that doesn't cost anybody else money, right? At least I'm not in a country where I can be arrested for mean tweets. Ooh, ba-dum boom. I would like to belong to a caste of greengrocers like Mahatma Gandhi. You know what? Maybe that might become the new feudalism, where it's almost like if we can't beat them, ignore them. You know, where instead of like fists in the air, joining Drew with banners tied to giant poles as we march through the streets with pre-printed gators up on our face and stuff like that, and bandanas and whatnot, maybe it's going to be like a ignore the landlords kind of thing, where people just check out and they're just done with it. And no matter what the overlords do or say, people are just like, F you, I'm just going to stay here. Well, you need to do this thing. Nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Capo says the artificial AI is dumb and just a game. There is an organic AI. It goes off our dreams and generates the fundamentals for future exploration and events. I think the argument is that I'm not arguing with you. I'm playing devil's advocate. I think the argument is that AI is now getting so good that it is destroying the dreams and goals of the creatives. There's nothing stopping you from being creative. There are many things that are stopping you from being rich and comfortable and safe and creative. So in your own basement, you might be able to create the best songs in the world. You release them out there and AI steals them, you're going to still be living in that basement. And it stole your shit, right? That's the problem. I think that's where the argument comes in, where if you have now, again, the other day I made the argument about AI eating itself, where AI art and video and texting and writing is learning from other AI systems, also flooding our interwebs. So each system is learning off of each other system. Like right now, like I'm a Googleite, so I'm in the Google ecosphere and it uses Gemini. Is Gemini learning from Chat GPT and everything Chat GPT is dumping into our, like, I'm just making an example. I don't know this feature, or I don't know how true this is, but if a sizable portion of news articles or entertainment articles or fantasy novels or anything are being generated, 2%, 5%, 12%, 38% of them are being generated by AI, is every other AI system learning from those produced materials to then generate and spit back the exact same horrible outcomes? They can put you in internet jail. I guess maybe that might become a thing. Hey Mufa, I wonder what AI thinks of attempt to poison the data it scrapes. Right, like, because is it Does the data system know that it's being manipulated when you manipulate it? Um, like, does a data system know when you are being polite that you're being polite to curtail its behavior or whatnot? Because every time, because I use the please and thank yous in my uses, the few times that I used AI systems, and it has to analyze that. So I don't know if it's, if you gave it BS, would it know that you're giving it BS because you're attempting to do that thing? Um, I guess it would have to know the context. It would have to understand what the context is. So it would have to understand I'm being fed bullshit because they keep talking about that thing. I mean, heck, this video is part of the solution and the problem at the exact same time. Drew says, I would say if you have to uh, have it too comfortable, then you stop being creative. Yeah. Creativity requires some amount of uncertainty. I agree with you. I do agree with you. I would hate for AI systems to kill other people's creativity. Supposedly, the glass half full people, and I happen to be one of them. I happen to be a positive person, but some of the arguments about AI being good is saying that if AI systems can do all of the scut work, then it makes us free to be more creative. And I agree with that, but I don't know what size of the population would be able to benefit from that. And that's my argument. It's like, sure, people will get rich and have an easier life using AI, but how many people will be able to do that? And will there be enough space? It's the fallacy that if everyone is rich, then we'll all be better off. And it's like, no, we won't. If everyone's rich, then all those rich people are now poor, because if everyone's the same, everyone's going to be on the same level. That's not being wealthy. That just means the value of the dollar or your monetary system just tanks out. That's what happens. It becomes like what's the book? Snow Crash, where they start printing. There was a notation that people have to stop clogging the toilets with $1 million bills because the $1 million bill had become so worthless they were using it like toilet paper. A book that's got ironic comedy in it, a dark ironic comedy, but that was a thing in the Snow Crash book. Like, I think one of the characters' moms or something worked at a company where they put out a notation like, all right, people, stop flushing $1 million bills because they're clogging up the toilets. The thing everyone forgets is that the original Mad Max had a society that just stopped. Everyone just stopped participating. There was no war, no nuclear disaster, no economic collapse. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Now, mind you, I think in the later movies, they kind of like claim that there was like someone turned off the world and there was more unrest. But you're right. People just stopped. And I think one of the greatest weapons we have that people, because I'm old enough to remember as a Gen Xer, that one of the greatest weapons we have and still have is to not respond, to not engage, and to ignore. There's a store you don't like, don't buy their stuff. There's a product that you don't like, don't mention it, don't buy it, don't talk about it, nothing. There's a bully, don't feed the trolls. The easiest weapon we have is to not engage. And it's also so powerful to ignore someone or something. It's crazy. Butter D says, if AI art with real art, then AI could be trained on it, which it cannot, therefore it is not art. I'm confused about how that works. I'm not understanding it. That doesn't mean you're not smart. It means I don't understand. I mean, I guess it would be, what's the definition of art, right? Is it human creativity, or is it just copying and pasting? Is AI just basically copy pasting? I wouldn't argue with that description, but that would be like arguing about what the name of a rose is, right? It is what it is, whether we consider it something or not, or call it something or not, doesn't change its nature. Um, like I was listening to a podcast where someone said, if AI is becomes intelligent, or it think or we think it's intelligent, is exactly the same thing. As long as everyone has access to it, I'm okay with a certain level of theft, as long as it's equal. But listen, they're gonna most of these AI systems are gonna go paywalls. They're gonna go behind a paywall. I guarantee it. Now, if that access is literally pay a subscription, probably. If that access is loyalty to someone or something, some other cost we have to pay to have access to it, I guarantee they're going to inundate it and then put it behind a paywall of some sort. That's my what I think is going to happen with AI systems. Oh, Drew, oh, stop it. It's already a thing. A lot of political propagandas have been dropped from online banking and payment processors and all kinds of shit. Yep. Yep. On the idea of AI teaching AI, there is a great Marvel comic called The Vision, where Vision makes a robo family and teaches them how to act like humans. It gets troubling to read. Ooh, yeah. Vision and Scarlet Witch is a the there's a problematic element to the relationship amongst those two characters, about Scarlet Witch being able to alter reality and Vision being artificial and wanting to be human, and how human is he because it's like synthezoid and all that. Yeah, they've done some great storytelling with those characters. Great storytelling. Yeah. That $1 million bill story sounds like Germany in 1922 and Yugoslavia in 1993. Yeah, where the value of the monetary system bottoms out because of overinflation and people checking out of the system. Yeah, yeah, yep. And then you have to do a major course correction. The artificial AI is a binary true or false system. Okay, if it was a ternary or tertiary, trinary, true false other, true false maybe, yes no if so, I don't know what that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get out of here pretty soon. Mad Max 1, yeah, Mad Max was just stopped. In Road Warrior it was implied that there was a war over fuel. Beyond Thunderdome hinted at something nuclear. Yeah, and I think even in Fury Road they hinted that people went mad, or after the war people went crazy, something like that. It was a war over water and resources, food, water, things like that. Yeah. That madness was part of it. There you go, Spook. The greatest insult you can give an enemy is to ignore them. Yep. Yeah. The greatest weapon we had in Gen X was just ignore it. Ignore it. Don't respond. Don't comment. Don't share. Don't get fueled by the dopamine to have to like angry text and angry comment and angry tweet. If Fury Road doesn't count. Oh, stop. Fury Road is an excellent movie. Come on. We're gonna have to fight about that one. Oh man. I currently run a couple of AI things locally, one for art and one for creative writing. They can be useful tools. I'd never use them for anything I'd want to publish though. And listen, I'm not saying that AI is evil, Mufa, because I use it for inspiration and a little editing, because I don't spell well and I need something to say, and I go, oh, that's what I meant, and then basically just go, oh, use it as a creative spark. I don't have a problem with it. It's basically a large language model, right? I use it like a thesaurus, essentially. Like, oh, I want to say this thing, help me reword it, and then it'll come up with some rewords, and I go, oh, no, not that, but that's also what I was thinking about, and whatnot. I don't cut and paste. I'm not a big cut and paste. I would say a big part of art is remixing of ideas that came before, and In that vein, AI could create art. Sadly, art also requires intent, and that is what AI is lacking. Yeah, yeah. There is a passing of the torch and homage in artwork as well. Like in honoring, I've learned from these other people, and therefore I'm carrying it forward. Yeah. It's so funny there, Drew. I love it. So dark. Mm-mm-mm. Never watched it. Had to preserve my childhood. Oh, that's funny. Uh, no, Mad Max Fury Road is worth the watch. I can't remember the name of the one that came out after that, but Fury Road is pretty good. Uh, Capo says there's a difference between intelligence and smarts. Intelligence can run large data but can't sense anything. Smart people can sense energies but may not be able to intelligently explain it. That's a good. That's a good synopsis of that. I like that. I like that. I understand that there's upwards of like 12 different types of intelligences, but I like that this summary. Oh, I'm a luddite, man. You can't make me do that, Aderlin. No, but I have adopted it somewhat. But I mean, I don't walk around with it in my ear all day long. Like there was a YouTube video about a guy who was like, "I'm gonna spend 5 days and do nothing but interact with AI systems and follow everything they do. Go to. I think he went to a place and ordered coffee through the Chat GPT or something like that, where he didn't even speak to the attendant. He had his phone speak to him. One of them suggested that he go to stand-up comedy, and he did all of the jokes with an earpiece in his ear and stuff. It's wild. It was wild. I don't know how true it was, but it was crazy. There we go. Yep. A dog is smart. Computer AI is intelligent. Yeah, Mufa says, yeah, it's useful for helping me think of ways to describe scenes in TTRPG games. I don't have a problem with that at all. At all. Like a personal tool or an AI system that takes what you just created and then remixes it for you. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with I keep bringing up Stephen King. I wouldn't have a problem with Stephen King having an AI trained on his own work to produce another book. Right? Now, it may not make something unique, but it may help him write more books. Now, whether I'm a Stephen King fan or not, that doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that if you want to read another book in the flavor of Stephen King, why wouldn't you just have a book created by Stephen King with a computer system that used his best writing and produced yet another horror book, with Stephen King's blessing, right? And that sounds wild because I can hear other people going, I don't want to read an AI book, but it wasn't created in a vacuum. If it was created from your own creation and things like that. Like, I'm finding ChatGPT sucks, but Gemini is really good about helping me develop Obsidian Star, because I have the world. It's just doing some of the math for me. Not math, but some of the science and things like that for me. And because I don't know about trajectories and gravitational pull and delta V and all that other stuff. I don't know about it. Luddites weren't actually anti-tech. They were anti-crap technology that was being used to make the same things they were, but cheaper and much lower quality, so it drove down their own income. Oh, well then I guess I am a Luddite. I was jokingly claiming I'm a Luddite. I guess I really am one. Drew says, I don't think Stephen King needs help. I don't know why I'm promoting. It's the first name of a writer that came to mind. I guess I could say Brandon Sanderson or something like that, but whatever. So anyway, guys, blinding light in the background here because the sun has come. See my head. There we go. Try to do it like this. Blinding light from there is actually the light is so bright it's coming through the screen and it's almost a blackout thing. Wow, that's pretty bright. Anyway, I think that's good because we've had a lot of rain here today. Not used to it on this side of the interwebs. But, guys, I need to get out of here. Oh, let me see. 12 types of intelligence. Is it 12? There it is. 12 types of intelligence. It got a halo. Feeling a little godly here. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. All I need is some incense and Birkenstocks and some bleached robes, and I can start my own cult. Yeah. So, uh, let's see what AI overview says about the types of intelligence. I bet you could make a TTRPG out of this, Capo. Linguistic. Let's see, linguistic. I can't get all of them on here. All right, linguistic, logical, mathematical, visual and spatial, bodily and kinesthetic, musical, interpersonal, intrapersonal, naturalistic, emotional intelligence, existential intelligence, self-awareness, and communication. And then here's a more detailed breakdown. Howard Gardner's 8 main intelligences. I wonder if you could make these like stats for a game, and navigate the world as like I thought about creating something like that where every your character is a genius who escaped a lab where they were trying to confine geniuses and you're on a run, and now you have to use your genius abilities to navigate the world. So there aren't any there's no physicality really, except for like one, which would be bodily kinesthetic, but all the rest of it is like mental things, like navigating the world and escaping your captors and fixing problems around the world, because that's what you're driven to do. Fighting against the man that wants to use your own intelligence against you or something. I bet you could create these as like skills, stats, heck, even adverbs or something. Brilliant, intelligent, perceptive. I'm subtle, things like that. Yeah, I thought this is a cult meeting. Yeah, hey, I brought the incense. What the hell? I brought the natural soap I just made from boiling the bodily flats of my enemies. Isn't that part of the cult? Looking at you. What's the movie? Fight Club. Oh man. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show. Let me stop, get this out of here. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having fun. Thanks for letting me segue out of tabletop role-playing games and make this show about just I miss my dreadlocks. I keep hitting my head because I miss my dreadlocks a little bit. I keep wanting to pull my hair back, and it's just bald. And so I have this unconscious thing where I'm just like I'm trying to rub the locks out my face because I've done it so often, and I'm like, there's nothing up here. There's just bald spot. Yeah, I'm losing parking spaces. Oh well. Anyway, guys, have a great one. Thank you very much for being part of the show. I appreciate it. Later, Spook and everybody. I miss your dreads too. Thank Drew. Thank you very much, Drew. And thank you for being anti-me, all of you guys, for serious science from here on out. I don't know. Oh, it didn't come up there, Capo. I don't know why. It didn't show up. Every once in a while, it lets you see the emoji. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. All it has is the word. Oh man. Anyway, I want to say this before I get out of here. I want to thank you guys for being individualistic and brilliant and collaborative and fun and accepting. You have zero need to agree with any bullshit that comes out of my mouth. But what I like about it is you guys are voicing your opinions, and we all get to, whether you want to argue a point or point out a deficiency or whatever, we can do that, and we can still come together and talk on this side of the interwebs. Of course, we love tabletop role-playing games. It was my escapism from the hood, and I love it. I found others online. I want to hope to try to get them together and try to do some more videos and do some collabs. It's difficult to do that. People are just busy and whatnot. But one of these days, we'll get it together. And one of these days, I'm going to uh, show you the final written version of this as well. But and maybe even talk about some of the lore and whatnot. I'm kind of having some fun. So, guys, have a great one. Thank you very much for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. And everyone, have a great weekend. I will see thee later. Bye.